Hello, crafters. Today we're going to look at how you create a page in your part of the site. So pretty much all of you will have access to one of the major structures of the site. What I mean by structures are, basically the structures. I know that's very explanatory. You're welcome. The arts and sciences section, for example, is a good example of a structure. This is where all of the arts and sciences department pages are. So for example, when we click departments here, it opens up a list of all the departments and all of the subpages of those departments and so forth. This is how you will figure out, of course, where to put any pages that you choose to create. You'll go to your area of the site. For example, my area appears to be this test area right here, which I've created just for this purpose. So, chances are you already have an area of the site, thus you'll want to create your page as a subpage of this existing area. And how you do that is you click the little checkbox next to it, then click the gear icon up here and click create a new child entry. And a child entry means that it will simply be a subpage of the entry you're already checked on. So let's go to a new child entry. Our title, let's say an even newer page. So one thing you'll notice upon typing in the title there is that the page slug, which is a word I believe left over from journalism, a word that just means the name of the page itself. This is what will show up in the URL up in the the URL area. I believe that's a technical term. You'll notice that also that it automatically populates with all lowercase letters and no spaces or punctuation. And this is important. This is a best practice in page naming because capitals and spaces kind of screw everything up when you're doing that. So, just a brief note there to explain that. Your page content, if you're creating a page, almost without exception, the first thing you're going to need is a header, a page header, and that is the area up top at the top of the page where the photo is. And when you add a page header from the Add a Block button here, you'll notice that the page title area is blank and the header image is blank. That is because both of these already have default settings. And we'll see, let's look at the live preview here to see what that looks like. The default setting for the header image itself is this image right here. It is a delightful hand-picked image of the OCU campus. If you do nothing, that is the image that will show up there, and that's just fine for our purposes and for most purposes. The page title also is blank. And so if you'll notice, what's showing up here in the page title area is the same page title you entered up here. Now, if you want to, you can put a new title in. And we'll see what happens if you enter that title into this area. You'll find that it repopulates with what you type in to this page title area. However, also important to note is that what you type in this very top page title area, that is what will show up in the left navigation. Which brings us to an important topic. Unless you specify otherwise, and again, you're going to need a pretty good reason to specify otherwise, the pages you create will automatically show up in the left navigation once you have saved them and once they've been published. So take that into account when you're naming your pages. Let's close our live preview now. The next thing we're going to need to do is add a text area to the page, because I'm going to say probably about 95% of your pages are just going to be text areas. So now that we've added a text area, you'll see we have two options, text content or collapsible. Text content is pretty much what the name implies. Hey, Here's some text content. Test. No, it is text content. We're just going to type in some gibberish here because, you know, we're all busy today. And look at all that gibberish. Now we've got a workable page area here. So let's see what that looks like again in our live preview, which I don't mean to overhype this, but the live preview is maybe the most useful thing I've ever worked with in a content management system. So there's your text. What you want to do is put a header up there on the top line. You'll want to use heading 2. Now, why that is important is that this right up here, this text here, this is formatted as a heading 1, and your page is only supposed to have one heading 1. The heading 1 of your page describes, it's just an overview of exactly what your page is about. So I guess it should probably say Herk, Herg, Herastettel, Kurtz up here, but we'll let that slide for the moment. So your other option after regular text content is collapsible. On the old site, we would call this an accordion nav area, but it's basically the same thing. So already our little preview has appeared down here. Collapsible title is, of course, the title. Our title auto-populates there. And let's put some more of the same gibberish in here. Now, when we open this up, look, there's our gibberish. Collapsible areas are really helpful when you have a large amount of content on a page and need to keep it all on one page instead of breaking it up into subpages. Course listings are one area that this is really super helpful for. So if you have to put that on any of your pages, I highly recommend using the collapsible areas. Once we've got all this ready, and this is about as ready as it's ever going to get, we can just hit the Close Live Preview button and hit Save. And actually, let's look at our options here. We've got Save here. And so now you can see that the URL of the area we've been working on is artsci/test-area/uneven newer page. A test area we worked on early here is, never mind. Pretend you didn't see that. Anyway, once you've got your new test page submitted or created, you can also go ahead and submit it for approval, which is covered in another video that I hope you have already watched, but if you haven't, you should. Anyway, that is the basic run-through of how to create a page. I hope you're able to extract some meaning or purpose from the video you've just watched. Thanks.